Wake that up.
LA's #1 hip-hop morning show is Nick Cannon Mornings on Power 106.
Nick Cannon Radio, we going all the way up, and it is time for up close and personal conversations. Yes, and you know we only have close conversations with people that I admire, that I look up to, people that are doing amazing things in the world, big things in the game, and this young lady is doing all the above and so much more. A true queen we are in the presence of. A spirit that elevates and motivates and inspires and encourages others through her arts, through her gifts. The one and only Kierra Sheard. What's going on, Queen?
Nothing much. Just trying to stay busy to stay out of trouble.
Man, it's so well. First of all, it is an honor and a pleasure to talk with you. I'm a huge fan, as you know, of not only yourself but your entire family. And just as of recently, a movie that you starred in about your family's legacy, the Clark Sisters, First Ladies of Gospel, is what, as I hear, the #1 movie on Lifetime and like ever.
I cannot believe it. I'm so blown away. I'm like, pinch me at any time, please.
Won't he do it? Look at God.
Right?
Now, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
The movie was powerful, and you were amazing in it. Like, we definitely need to see you exercising your acting skills more often, because I mean, you definitely played the role of your mama well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't believe it did what it did. I'm so excited. I was glad that they were able to tell their story. And I hope it inspires other people who are believers to know that you can be outside of the box. Just because you're saying you're a believer, that doesn't mean that you have to think small. But I was really excited. It was personal. Thank you so much for the feedback. That means a lot coming from Dr. Nick Cannon.
Nah, here you go. Well, nah, you definitely did that, and man, it was powerful. I mean, even to, like you said, you guys stepped in there and were able to show the fact that the Clark sisters were a real family. I mean, because, you know, people who grow up in the faith community for years had just kind of looked up to the family as reverence, you know what I mean? Like as perfection, because, you know, when you have such an anointing and such a gift, then you're like, yo, they not human. You know what I mean? So the fact that we got to see a human aspect, and I mean, you guys actually showed that on your reality show throughout the years too, which I really value and appreciate, because I felt like between like the relationship with you and your brother and your mom and your pops and all that, we've been able to be like, oh, okay, you can still live a faith-based life and still be normal, because, you know, for years it's been perpetuated that hasn't been the case in the faith community.
Absolutely. And I think it's important that we do display that so that we can show people that it's tangible. And then I think it kind of removes the pedestal as well, or the expectations that people have when it comes to public figures that are in, I'll say, the faith-based community. And it just kind of, again, gives them something to relate to. So I agree with you 100%. I hope we get more opportunities to be able to share the story, even with my Aunt Twinkie being vulnerable enough to mention her challenges with mental awareness and mental stability. And very often it's a lot of us that are in, you know, like that spotlight, and we're not talking about things. We're just letting that kind of like weigh on us. So I'm happy, and I hope that it inspired a lot of people who watch it, like you said, to know that you can believe, but you got to put some action to it and do some things that are necessary for you to keep going. So thank you so much.
No doubt. And you got so many new beginnings coming. I've been following you on the IG. And then one thing I'm super excited about is Kierra, the new self-titled project. But then, I mean, there's some things going on that I don't know. I don't get all in your business, but it's all on the internet. So you got some things going on in your life. Tell me about it.
Yes, I got some things going on. I'm engaged to this fine, dope man.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. I'm so excited. He's actually someone I've grown up with, but I just never paid attention to him. And now he has all of my attention. And
that's
it's
funny.
really
That
dope.
sounds like that was like in the movie, that was the role you was playing of your mama and your pops.
Exactly. That's exactly like how it happened. And I'm blown away because the connection actually goes way back to my grandmother and his grandmother,
Oh,
which
wow.
Dr. Maggie Clark. So it's really dope. It's cool. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with us and all that good stuff.
Well,
Yeah, great things are happening.
congratulations. And, like I said, I don't want to be getting all in your business, but whatever you want to share, we are here in full support of love and knowing that it's like, it makes me feel old because I feel like the first time I met you, you was a child and now you about to get married. So
Yeah.
I'm seeing it all happen and it's definitely a beautiful thing. Now, I definitely want to dive in a little deeper because as we know, people look to artists like yourself, your entire family in these tough times, and we're living in a world. 2020 is a year like no other, and people are looking for stability. They're looking for faith. They're looking for things to rely on, knowing that a lot of times not only is your music and even your gift and you as a person are really offered to the world as a light, but how does one like yourself deal with, whether it's everything that we're dealing with, the pandemic to the idea of, the social injustices, I mean, race relations, election year, all of these things in 2020 has really hit everyone so hard. And we look to you as a beacon. But how are you holding up?
I honestly have to, speaking of the social injustices, I had to take a break from social media because the other day I was watching it and I just started crying. I was just like, I can't believe that these things are happening to us just because of the color of our skin, because it's something that we literally cannot change. So I definitely have been praying, and I've also been seeking some ways to basically partner with more African Americans, my sisters, my brothers, so that we can build what we need to build the dollar amongst ourselves. And to basically, I was reading something, I think it was by Nikki Giovanni, and it was the Black Code, but really practicing those principles that she put at the forefront, where it's like, we don't mess with our children, we don't mess with each other. Right. So basically wanting to seek that level of peace that I think that we should try and maintain amongst ourselves, to where it's not us giving the world entertainment because of the things that we have amongst ourselves that's like challenging. But I'm just seeking new ways to communicate with my own kind and embracing who we are, my community, and just where we come from. But as far as the pandemic, I've been affected by it, and it hit hard for me. Like I was just telling you earlier, I lost my grandmother to it, and she's like my best friend. Literally,
so
my prayer life. Yeah, thank you for your condolences.
Absolutely.
But my prayer life, it's gone to a different place. And I don't think I've ever experienced the peace of God in my life the way I've experienced it in this moment. And all the time, when I talk about this peace, I get emotional because it's literally a peace that is from a supernatural being, because I literally thought I would lose my mind after losing my grandmother. So I've just been on prayer calls and just covering myself. We say the village is for the child, but I think the village is for the adult as well. So having dope people around that will cover you and get you to Christ when you can't get yourself to him. That's what I'm doing. And anything that's knocking me off balance as it pertains to my soul, my mental peace, I'm removing myself from it. And I'm taking the precautions that, are necessary to cover ourselves with the virus and everything. Taking it one day at a time.
That's definitely a word right there. And we've talked to so many artists who have lost people close to them because of this pandemic. And like you said, people are dealing with it in that same sense, to where it's a time like we've never experienced before, but it's a time of an awakening as well. It's a paradigm shift that's going on, and you could feel it. You could feel the universe is moving. You could feel God's hand in so many different areas, regardless of what you believe or your spiritual background or your faith base. People know you can see the change. And when you have something firm to rely on, like your Christianity or whatever your faith is, these times are probably more important than ever to be that example to others and to offer up love in a way that where our innate sensibilities may be to respond in a negative way or to be more selfish. But when you can open up and say, I hurt just like you hurt. I feel just like you feel. I'm going through what you're going through. I think that's kind of what everybody needs during these times.
Absolutely. And I think we should hear that from each other, because that's where we're connecting. And it's not so much, I feel like at one point we were all interested in reading each other and letting people have it.
Come on
now. But
now.
now it's like, well, let's be able to read when, like you said, we're in this broken space. How are you feeling? What comes along with you? I mean, what's on your mind right now? What are you thinking? The other day I was talking to my grandfather because he was watching the news. And I was like, what's on your mind? What you thinking? Why are you so quiet? I think it's important that we get into each other's mind, especially during this time, like you said. So I agree with you 100%.
Wow. And for someone, again, like that has been blessed with the gift to offer spiritual food through music. I don't know, like, with you, like, it's different in my family and stuff, but I could only imagine that, when you guys just, give praise and thanks in y'all households with all of those gifts, like, that has to be so fulfilling. You know what I mean? To be able to just sing through the pain. Am I imagining that, or is, like, does that actually happen when y'all come together? Like, those voices are so powerful. I could imagine that could, heal anyone going through anything, because your music does that for the world already. So for you to offer that to each other, it has to be a real thing.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I'm working on a virtual tour, and we just did the performance for BET, and we did my song, Something Has to Break. And I did that song with my mom, and I had to pull myself together for the performance, because at one point she was inspiring me. She motivated me. She made me find this space of peace. So it usually is during the holidays when we do our whole family thing and we sing and have a good time. But since we've been doing so many virtual things, I've been finding, like, my mom she's still a beast. And I'm like, how do you find that in you to give that out? So absolutely.
Speaking of, and I don't know if I've shared this with you before, or if you heard it, but one thing that, I think we all came up on is those, times where you and your mom would be doing the vocal gymnastics, freestyling in the midst of many different songs. And I think, were you like 3 years old when the first time that you guys when you guys were going back and forth, and, like, your mom would hit a note and then you would hit a note, and we have those records at the house, and I have to say, you have inspired Mariah and my daughter Monroe, to where, one, even before Monroe was born, like, Mariah would always be on that and be like, listen to that baby, how she just get off like that. And then now she does that with my daughter. Not at your level yet. Like, but they kind of, Mariah hit a note and then she'll hit a note, and then even I think they implement it in the show a little bit. But just, in our households, you are definitely, you and your family have been inspiration for quite some time, in that, to where, like, that was kind of like the thing, and like you were like 3 when it started, right?
I was 9.
9? See, why did we think you were so young? Like, why did I hear like it was the first time you were singing back and forth with your mom? You were 3. Where did I get that from?
I don't know.
So the recording that we hear is when you were 9 years old.
Yep.
Okay, so then my baby still might got time then.
Absolutely. 100%.
Because I was like, is she going like crazy like that at 3? She was definitely gifted. But even at 9, like to obviously the vocal stylings of your entire family, but specifically your mom is next level. And then obviously you've become the vocal beast that you are. Is that something where did you ever really feel that pressure? You've been doing it all your life, and it seems like you guys have fun with it, but to know that, your mom is Karen Clark, and then you had to, those are some big vocal shoes to fill.
It was, yes, I definitely felt pressure. And shout out to you and your family. Y'all definitely have a place in our household as well, as far as inspiration and leveling up. So thank you. But it is pressure. I still to this day will be trying to give my absolute all and find that I'm still not singing quite how my mom sings with her range. She's a true soprano. I'm more like an alto trying to sing soprano.
Got it.
And it seems like the more seasoned she gets higher and higher. So
Oh, wow.
it's still pressure, but it's a healthy pressure. I often say, what's a diamond without pressure and cuts? So I'm all for it. And I'm also just kind of like when we did the movie, I was literally getting lightheaded at trying to sing how high she sings.
Wow.
And I had to take a break, and I felt like a loser because I was like, I need some help because somebody else sing these parts. So it is pressure, but I'm all for it.
Hey, well, we love it, and obviously the new album is fire. It's available on all streaming platforms right now, correct?
Yes, available right now, and it's some great songs. Please, please.
What's your favorite joint on there?
So I was just talking to somebody. Choosing a favorite on this record is like trying to choose your favorite child. Not that I have any, but it's so good. I guess I would say It Keeps Happening is one of my favorites, and Things You Do and Better. You said one, but that's three.
Yeah, hey, that's fire right there. So It Keeps Happening is the one that you have the music video for, correct?
Yes, it's 2 music videos out, so It Keeps Happening and Something Has to Break.
Okay, that's what's up. So we want everybody to check that out. The Kiara Project is out currently. Want to get that going. I have to say, like, because like I work out to gospel music every day. That's something weird. I know, like it's either like R&B, slow jams, or gospel music is like my workout music. And every day, like I hear the Endow Me. First of all, I got Endow Me from your family, the OG one, and then the one that you, Coco, Fantasia, Faith, and Lil Mo did. And yo, like when I say y'all was going crazy on that joint, like just the one when you hear the original, and then when you hear how you guys took it to the next level, I'm inspired by that as somebody who like I know music, but I ain't never going to pretend like I could sing. Like I be finding myself in the gym trying to hit them kiki notes. But you have a very unique style. Like even in the midst of all of those other great singers, you cut through in such a way. Where do you think that comes from?
I've never been asked that question. I don't know where it comes from.
Because even like with your mom and like everybody, like you sound completely different. And again, like you said, I don't know if it's the alto soprano mix, or I don't know if you keep it, it like the way you can go from your head voice to your chest, like so effortlessly, like you be getting off.
Thank you. I think a lot of people have said, and I hear it, and it kind of scares me when I'm playing back my music. I have a little mixture of my mom, my Aunt Dorinda, and my Aunt Twinkie. It's all wrapped up in one. So I don't know if that's what God has blessed me with, where it's like, I'm going to give her herself, but I'm going to give her these other 3 crazy singing people, and I'm going to see how this will cut through. So I think that might be what it is. Right. I think also my passion, because one of my favorites is Mary J. Blige. So I've always made it my business to like, give you the gutter performance, like give you passion, and don't worry about if your wig come off, just go for the blood. So I think that is it. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Well, we definitely feel it. Whatever that mixture is, it's a powerful one. And again, like I said, you can make sure you check out Kiara's new project, self-titled. Kiara is fire, and you've been offering this, almost your entire life with your gift, and you've taken it to so many different levels. To see you now acting and doing big things like that, what's next for Kierra Sheard? Soon to be Miss.
Mrs. Kelly.
Okay, I heard that. Yeah. So what's next other than your personal life? What's next for the career?
Some great things, and I think that's why one of my favorite songs is It Keeps Happening, because literally doors have been flying open for me after I made that declaration over my life. But I have the book coming. It's called Big big, bold, and beautiful.
Okay.
And owning the woman that God has created us to be. And it's me basically being very transparent about, being a curvy woman. And sometimes you have these expectations that the world puts on you as far as how you should look. But the book is coming out soon, 2021. Then, of course, the wedding will be in 2021. And then my clothing line is in, or it's on Macy's.com. So that's doing really well also. So it's a lot. It's some more. Just stay tuned because I'm gonna keep coming with it.
Nah, we love it, and I can't wait for the book. Like, obviously, I'm an avid reader and just really like to study people in so many different ways. So the fact that you're offering that up and being vulnerable in that space is outstanding. And that actually gonna lead me to what we do on this show. I gave you your flowers, gave you all the accolades, but now we gonna put you in the hot seat. And it's really just it's a master class of Kiara. I want to hear how or see and dig deep on how your mind works. Now, these are philosophical questions. These are psychological questions. But most importantly, they are fun questions. So you can take your time or you can answer them rapidly. There's no wrong way to answer these questions. And we always start with an icebreaker. And I think I know what's going to be the answer to this one. Because the icebreaker is a study, a psychological study. They said there's only truly two emotions, love and fear. And all other emotions root and stem off from that space. And Niccolo Machiavelli, the Italian philosopher, says it's safer to be feared than it is to be loved. But when Kierra Sheard walks into the room, what energy is she normally on? Does she operate up under love or fear?
Love, 100%.
Yeah, come on. I knew you wasn't going. I know you wasn't walking in there like Suge. I know you wasn't gangster in the room. Even though, but like the fear of God and reverence and all of that stems from a place of respect. So I know we understand fear, but as believers, we all know that love overcomes and conquers all.
100%.
So we'll go here. What? Speaking of fears, though. Even though, I know you were not given the spirit of fear, but the spirit of love and a sound mind. But there has to be one thing that Kiara is scared of. If there's one fear that you have, even if it's physical, even if insects, something like that, what you scared of?
It's crazy you asked that. I've always been afraid of losing my loved one.
Oh yeah, of course.
You just hit home with that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to pull it in.
Yeah.
But that was a fear. That's a fear, and marrying the wrong person. But I feel good about.
And you got the right one. You done chose it. Your discernment is working.
Yeah, 100%.
I hear you. All right, we're gonna lighten it up real quick. Kiki's favorite movie.
Friday.
Friday?
Yep, Friday's my favorite movie.
Y'all could watch Friday. I couldn't watch Friday in my house. I'm a PK too. Friday, like the pastor wasn't having Friday going on in the house.
I was watching it with my cousins. We dipped off. We watched that in Players Club. That was my
Wow. Yo, I couldn't watch none of that stuff. Like I couldn't watch anything worldly. I couldn't listen to the music. My dad was burning my Snoop Dogg cassettes, all of that stuff. I couldn't get haircuts with lines in it. I couldn't do none of that. the trials of a PK.
What's cool is my father actually enjoys gangster movies.
Oh.
So speaking of being a PK, I don't know if that's where I, kind of get the balance there. Of course, he's like, well, make sure you ain't acting crazy, but my dad is the what is it, Capone?
Al Capone, yeah. Untouchables and all of that. Yeah,
all of that.
That's what's up. Now, my dad was into that too. Like, my dad was more like, because, he was a gangster who turned his life over. So he still couldn't let go of he still was in all to the blaxploitation and he actually used to let us watch like the Bruce Lee movies and stuff like that. Okay. But it was just the stuff that I was interested in. Like, I couldn't watch Martin. I couldn't watch In Living Color, like anything Eddie Murphy. He wasn't rocking with it. But he gave me good advice. He was like, look, I'm not going to allow or support that, but if you want to be like that, I will give you the tools to help you become that. So, and that's what he helped me, get in front of cameras. And he had a little televangelist show, and he put me on the show and let me work on the cameras and learn all of that stuff. And so, here I am today because my PK had he didn't rule too heavy with the iron fist.
Right.
Understood. Yes. All right. So speaking of best piece of advice that Kiara's ever received.
had a good something, just one piece of advice.
Just one, the best piece.
If you get $1, keep a quarter.
Oh, I heard that. That's real. That's some good financial advice right there. Worst piece of advice you've ever received. So much we get so much of it.
Right.
What was something that just didn't make no sense? That'd be like, yo, I that is ridiculous.
Oh man. Hey, I can't think of nothing off the top of my head. I can tell you some dumb stuff I've done on my own.
Oh, we gonna get to that too. We gonna get to that too. We got that. That's coming up. That's like 3 more questions.
That it's okay to not listen to your parents.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds petty, but even in my 30s, I'm like, I rock with my parents. They're my best friend. I need their voice in my life.
Nah, that's biblical right there. You have a long life when you listen to mama and daddy.
Yeah.
And speaking of, what's your favorite book?
Oh, just one?
One book.
Oh, you want one? Look, I said one.
Just, I mean, you give a list if you want.
I'll say In the Meantime by Iyanla Vanzant and Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren.
Oh, that Purpose Driven Life is a real one. Rick be talking that talk. Yeah, all right. Best excuse when trying to get off the phone with somebody.
Somebody on the other line.
I heard that. All right. Greatest accomplishment. Kiara's greatest accomplishment thus far.
That's hard. I guess I say the movie.
Okay.
Right now.
All right. Yeah. Kiki's biggest mistake.
Dating somebody for too long, being stuck on stupid. That was it was a big mistake.
How long was it?
And let my nana tell her, she said, baby, you might as well marry the man and just be miserable. It was like 10 years.
Whoa. Y'all was married. That was a long time. Yeah. Well, now you know it's new beginnings out here, and we love it. All right, so you're on an island, right? You only can take 3 things. What are those 3 items you taking?
Dang. Well, I'm not married yet, so I'll just say my parents and my brother.
That is definitely the biblical answer right there. That you took 3 people, your 3 loved ones. I'm not mad at you. And it's just a study of it was the island of your mind, however you wanted to do it. So, all right, we're gonna ask this now. You've been in the game for quite some time. Have you ever had a fan out moment? If so, who was it with? Like, who just made you just fangirl up real quick?
Jay-Z.
Really? Tell me about it.
I met him more than once, but I met him at the Grammys for the first time. And I was with my dad, but I never forgot it. And the first thing I said was, you know you're my uncle, right? And I'm like, why did I just say that? But it was just me being a fan. And I've always said Jay-Z is my uncle. So I just claimed him as my uncle because of his brilliance. But
Uncle Jay-Z right there. I'm not mad at that. All right, now if you could have dinner with anyone alive or in history, one person, who would that be?
Alive or in history? Nick, you keep getting me emotional. I want my Nana back. I want her back.
Hey, I hear you. We all had that. We all had that same feeling about the same thing with my grandfather. I was like, if I just had 5 more minutes, we would have went up the right way. But you know how it go. Just because they absent from the body, you know what that means. That they're in the presence with the Lord, and their spirit is eternally with us each and every day. Now, I gotta ask you this though. Speaking of, what's your favorite Bible verse?
Good question. Right now, I have to say the scripture about I'll give you peace that surpasses all understanding.
Okay, absolutely.
Because I've been calm like nobody. I used to get angry, talk with my hand in my fist, but now I'm super calm. I've never been this calm.
Really?
Yeah.
You used to turn up?
I was ready. I was always ready.
I heard that. Well, I'm glad you have that peaceful spirit that is operating right now. All right, now we always ask this: one album that you could listen to for the rest of your life. If you only get one, what is that album?
Oh man. What? How am I supposed to answer that?
What? Come on! It's just if it's just one album, like it could be any. It could be Kierra. Like that would be the safe way to answer it. You would just be like my current album. But if you want to be truthful out here, you would tell me the real.
Okay. Okay, I won't give you that one because that one's just out of order. So I'll say Brandy Full Moon.
Ooh, fire album. That yeah. Every song, no skips. I'm with you on that right there. All right, and speaking of, since we right here, we always do top 5 on Nick Cannon Radio. I need to know, you got to give it to me, Kierra Sheard's top 5 vocalists. Come on now. You got to throw yourself in there too. Don't be bashful.
I can't do that. It's so many great vocalists. So let me do Karen, my mama.
Nice.
Joe.
Really, Joe? Like that's. I've heard a lot of people, singers respect Joe because they know his range, his quality, all of that stuff. Like that dude really get down. His placement is crazy, but people don't normally give like the average person who's not a singer don't give Joe his props like that.
Yeah, and Joe is the man. I'm sorry, he's it.
Yeah.
Joe,
we did a record on my first album, Cool Cat.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all right. So you got your mama, Joe.
Layla Hathaway.
Oh, fire. See, Donnie is in mine. Her daddy's definitely one of mine, but we gonna definitely go with Layla.
Yes. Oh my God, I only got
you only got 2 more.
Oh, this is hard. Okay. Man, I'll say Beyonce.
Ooh.
And I'll say
one more.
I'm gonna throw this out there. James Brown.
What?
I'm gonna tell you why.
I did not think James Brown was gonna be in your top 5. Godfather Soul, salute to him, but out of vocalists?
Yes, because people like they do Joe. They only look at James Brown as an entertainer. Okay. But if you go and just listen to James Brown's music, he sings. He throws.
He was hollering the whole time. I mean, I love all of his music, but I would never consider James Brown a vocalist.
Go listen to him, Nick, and just listen to quick runs. You're going to hear him just do like quick stuff. He's like, oh, okay. And you got to rewind.
He definitely got that church in him, though. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
But, oh, man, I thought you was going to give me somebody from the gospel. I know where you was going to go. I thought I might have got to marry Jay. You said James Brown.
It's so many though, because you didn't let me. You could have said 10. Yolanda Adams is a classic. I love Yolanda Adams.
Of course.
Winans.
All of the Winans. Right. Yeah, anybody from Detroit, y'all, everybody there can sing. They be singing the house off for real. But hey, that is a very unique top 5 right there. I truly appreciate it. And we always in the master class and digging deep into your mastermind with this one last question. Now, you clearly are a part of a legacy. You're clearly building your own journey and becoming iconic in that way. So when it's all said and done, what is going to be the one word that describes Kierra Sheard? One word.
Servant.
What was that?
Servant.
A servant. Oh yeah, it broke up a little bit. A servant, a true servant of the Lord. And then honestly, you served us all with your amazing gift We're excited about all the new things that you have on the forefront. Congratulations. The project Kierra is available on all streaming platforms. Make sure y'all get that. It has been such an honor and a pleasure to speak with the gifted, the super talented, the loving, the servant, Kierra Sheard.